Exploring Life. Chapter 21, Human Evolution. Part 1. Human evolution is a long and complex process, stretching across millions of years. The most important clues come from fossils, especially the thousands of skeletons unearthed over time. These bones show how our ancestors changed, step by step, through evolutionary history. But bones aren't the only evidence. Footprints and artifacts, such as tools, cave art, and beads, offer insight into how our minds and cultures evolved. More recently, genetic analysis has added another layer, helping us trace lineages, migrations, and interbreeding with extinct relatives like Neanderthals. In addition, comparative studies of living primates, paleoenvironmental data, and dating techniques support human evolutionary research, helping us interpret behavior, reconstruct ancient habitats, and place fossils and artifacts in time. Together, these pieces help us reconstruct where we came from and how we became human. Our story begins with the primates, an order of mammals that first appeared between 56 and 34 million years ago. They thrived in the treetops of tropical forests, where agility and perception were essential for survival. Primates developed several key traits: grasping hands for climbing and manipulating objects, forward-facing eyes for depth perception, and larger brains that supported learning and complex social behavior. Just think about the calculations behind a safe leap between branches: speed, direction, the size and shape of the landing point, wind conditions, body position, and any obstacles in the way, all had to be considered. At minimum, you'd need a calculator and a physics table. They did it with brains alone, multiple times a day. And only those who got it right survived. Not a simple task. That pressure helped shape the primate mind and set the stage for human intelligence. Among modern primates, chimpanzees are our closest genetic relatives. Humans and chimpanzees share nearly 99% of their DNA, but crucial differences exist. One of the most revealing is chromosome count. Chimpanzees have 48 chromosomes, while humans have 46, because two ancestral chromosomes fused to form human chromosome 2. That fusion is still visible in our DNA today. Over millions of years, point mutations, small but meaningful changes in the genome, accumulated, shaping differences in immunity, development, and brain function. Scientists estimate that our lineage diverged from that of chimpanzees around 6 to 8 million years ago. From there, a new evolutionary chapter began. We often assume that intelligence was always the main driver of human evolution. But the story actually begins with something more fundamental: walking upright on two legs. As forests gave way to open grasslands, bipedalism offered clear advantages. It was far more energy efficient than knuckle walking, and it gave early hominins a better view of both predators and prey across the plains. Australopithecus was one of the earliest hominins to walk upright. We know this from fossilized skeletons, a remarkable set of 3.6 million-year-old footprints preserved in volcanic ash, and the near-complete skeleton of a young female nicknamed Lucy. Her pelvis and knee structure were strikingly similar to those of modern humans, clear signs of habitual bipedalism. However, her brain volume was only about 430 cubic centimeters, roughly one-third the size of a modern human brain. Bipedalism proved to be a successful adaptation, leading to the emergence of multiple hominin species and a rapid expansion in brain size. Two notable examples are Homo habilis and Homo erectus. Homo habilis, who lived around 2.4 to 1.6 million years ago, had a brain size between 510 and 690 cubic centimeters, about 40% the size of a modern human brain. Around 2 million years ago, Homo erectus appeared, with a brain volume between 910 and 940 cubic centimeters. That's more than twice the size of Australopithecus, like Lucy, and about two-thirds that of modern humans. Homo erectus had a much broader range of abilities. It was the first hominin to leave Africa, spreading into Asia and Europe. It mastered toolmaking, likely used fire, and became a skilled hunter. Homo erectus remained dominant for nearly 1.8 million years, making it the most enduring member of our evolutionary lineage. And then came more recent human relatives, like Neanderthals and Denisovans, distinct species, but still capable of interbreeding with Homo sapiens, leaving a lasting genetic legacy in our genomes. Homo neanderthalensis, or Neanderthals, lived across Europe and parts of Asia until about 28,000 years ago. Their average brain size was around 1,500 cubic centimeters, about 10% larger than that of modern humans. Neanderthals were skilled hunters, crafted stone and wooden tools, used fire, and even buried their dead with offerings, strong evidence of complex behavior and emotional depth. Their disappearance remains a puzzle. Theories suggest they may have faced competition from early modern humans, vulnerability to disease, or extensive interbreeding that gradually absorbed their lineage into ours, rather than leaving a separate evolutionary path behind. As Homo sapiens emerged in northeastern Africa, with brain sizes averaging 1,300 to 1,400 cubic centimeters, they developed complex behaviors that surpassed those of earlier hominins. Sites associated with Homo sapiens often contain a rich array of tools, ornaments, and symbolic objects, such as shell beads, engraved ochre, and early forms of art, signaling a true cultural leap. This creative explosion is a defining feature of our species. Over time, small human groups migrated out of Africa in several waves, eventually populating the world. These early migrants experienced genetic bottlenecks, carrying only a fraction of the original gene pool. Africa, in contrast, retained its full genetic complexity and remains home to the most genetically diverse human populations today. In fact, as one genetic study found, a European and an Aboriginal Australian may be more genetically similar to each other than two individuals from different African populations, a striking reminder of where our story began, and the vast diversity it still holds. This figure displays skull structures from several key species in the human evolutionary tree. As you move through the sequence, you can see clear morphological changes, from smaller brains and prominent brow ridges to larger brain cases and flatter faces. This chart presents one interpretation of human evolution, highlighting key species along our ancestral path. It's based on decades of research, but it's not settled science. Fossil classifications, brain size estimates, and dates often vary, and new discoveries continue to reshape the picture. Still, one trend is unmistakable: a rapid increase in brain size and a dramatic expansion of behavioral complexity, hallmarks of our evolutionary journey. We've traced Earth's history from the dawn of time, witnessing countless adaptations, but this is the first moment where we see a sudden acceleration in brain size and the emergence of complex intelligence. Life has produced multiple lungs, dozens of eye types, and even two unrelated groups, birds and mammals, that independently evolved four-chambered hearts and endothermy. But nothing quite compares to this shift, and it happened in just a blink, evolutionarily speaking. So how did it happen? There are many extreme theories. Some suggest a macroevolutionary leap driven purely by chance. Others propose that intelligent species may have evolved before, but left no trace recognizable to us after tens of millions of years. In this lecture, we'll focus on one of the better supported explanations, an attempt to understand the unusual evolutionary path that led to Homo sapiens. According to the most widely supported theory, Homo sapiens evolved under unique environmental pressures. Around 300,000 years ago, Earth entered a period of intensified and unpredictable climate shifts. In East Central Africa, where our species likely emerged, these changes were especially extreme. Lakes appeared and vanished within centuries. Forests gave way to dry, open landscapes. Most species rely on slow genetic adaptation to survive. Humans took a different path. Rather than waiting for evolution to catch up, we began reshaping our environment to meet our needs. This behavioral flexibility drove selection for enhanced intelligence and social cooperation. It marked the beginning of our extraordinary success and our greatest vulnerability. The impulse to mold the world rather than adapt to it. Unstable environments shaped the course of human evolution. And our success didn't come from evolving tougher bodies or sharper claws. It came from something else entirely. We built tools, made fire, stitched clothing, and sheltered ourselves from the elements. Later came reading glasses. Then cars. Then airplanes. Each one a substitute for biological adaptation. Over time, science, medicine, and social systems began to shield us from nature's pressures. Today, we speak of evolution as an abstract concept, sometimes wondering if it even still applies. It does. Just less visibly, and far less cruelly than before. But the price our species paid to reach this point must not be forgotten. The trade-off for a larger brain is steep. Although it makes up only about 2% of total body weight, the human brain consumes nearly 20% of the body's glucose. That's a significant metabolic cost, one that may have driven our ancestors into a constant search for food and into high-risk situations, chasing prey across dangerous terrain, scavenging near predators, or confronting wounded animals during a hunt. Our large, complex brains enable abstract thinking, memory, empathy, and culture, but also make us uniquely vulnerable to anxiety, depression, and other cognitive disorders. An even greater cost came with childbirth. Larger brains meant larger skulls, which made delivery more difficult and dangerous, especially when compared to other primates. For much of human history, childbirth carried a high mortality rate for both mothers and infants. Even today, most of us wouldn't consider giving birth outside a properly equipped hospital, and despite modern advances, maternal and infant mortality remains a concern. That alone speaks to the magnitude of the evolutionary cost of our oversized brains. Before we dive into human body structures, let's make one thing clear. Understanding humanity isn't limited to biology, and maybe it's not even primarily biological. Language, spirituality, culture, ethics, art, and society all play profound roles in shaping who we are. But biology still matters. The multicellular eukaryote, the vertebrate, the primate. This is the physical framework on which everything else is built. So as we continue exploring life, this time, our own bodies, we'll focus on the biological systems that sustain us. Neanderthals made tools, used fire, buried their dead, and had brains as large as ours. They lived in families, showed care, and even interbred with early humans. By the biological species definition, they may not have been a separate species at all. So, were Neanderthals truly different, or just another kind of human? In the second and third parts of the lecture, we'll explore specific organ systems, focusing on key traits, their evolutionary origins, and the trade-offs or negative consequences that come with them.